Well, it is an important part of Sioux Falls history that you might drive or walk by frequently. Tomorrow is the 92nd anniversary of a famous gangster barging into a downtown Sioux Falls bank.
Not only did it shake the friendly community, it also made the bank robbers rich. Beth Warden has more in a story you'll only see here on Dakota News Now.
We're walking the very same areas that this iconic bank robbery took place. The vault used to actually be where this wall is.
This building and this office is a living piece of history.
The work they did to study everything.
15 years ago, attorney Scott Abdallah restored this space and relocated his practice here. It looks very much like it did back in 1934.
It's kind of like coming to work in a museum every day.
The historical sign on the building tells the story.
92 years ago, on March 6th, there was a very famous bank robbery that occurred here by a gang called the Dillinger gang. John Dillinger, Babyface Nelson, and others broke into this bank during daylight hours and stole close to $50,000, which would be the equivalent of about $1.2 million today, and then took hostages as human shields to get out of the bank because there were police outside, and they escaped, and they were never caught for this particular robbery.
Dillinger and his accomplices made it out rich and alive, but not for long.
Dillinger was gunned down 5 months later in Chicago, but this money was never recovered.
Out of all the towns and banks, it's astonishing that the Security National Bank on Main Street was on their radar. Lori Kent of the Local Lou podcast is fascinated by how it unfolded.
All they had to do was show up with the best guns. They did. They had Tommy guns. The fastest car at the time. They did. They had a Packard. That's all they needed, because everything else was just kind of really quick. Walk in, get the money, go out.
Dillinger and his gang got away.
They're throwing out roofing nails. They have human shields. They all lived, but they were also all just kind of dropped off in the middle of nowhere in Schindler.
Sometimes mysteries still encircle the robbery.
I want to know what they thought when they saw people being used as a human shield. Gosh, that's got to be hundreds of people that had a direct connection to this bank robbery.
The identity of everyone in the gang is unresolved.
Pretty strong conclusion that Dillinger and Babyface Nelson were involved. But as to the other two, I think that we may never know the answer to that.
While the gangsters yelled for everyone to get down, a brave hand was lifted to push the alarm.
I've never had a clear picture of how that alarm went off, which particular person activated that alarm, because that caused chaos on the outside during the robbery, and it caused hundreds of people to gather in the morning hours while the robbery was going on.
This is the kind of South Dakota history that shouldn't be forgotten. Today I've shared part of the Dillinger gang robbery in Sioux Falls. Tomorrow, more on the robbery, and I'll show you the handprints that look like blood. In Sioux Falls, Beth Warden, Dakota News Now.